Hi Zukanya, I've made you this video to help you understand what's going on in this question. I've tried to interlay your answer within the question so that we can see both while we go through it. I just want to give you a little bit of feedback on the work that you have done. Unfortunately, there is no way that x could be equal to 0 in this case because it is a distance. So a distance, whilst it has to be positive, it can't be 0 if we can see that it exists. So there's no way that that can unfortunately be our answer. What you did have right, though, is that you attempted to use the theorem of Pythagoras. And what I would like to do is just go back to this and just go and expand on this a little bit more. Unfortunately, with the answer that you've submitted, you wouldn't actually get any marks for that as yet. But if we go on to the next page, I'm going to work through it with you, and then you'll see where the marks are awarded as well. So let's go to the next page. So here we are on the next page. Here is the diagram ready and waiting for us. And this is what we would need to do, Zukanya, in order to get full marks for this particular question. Okay, so first of all, they have asked us to work out the length of the radius. So in this case, the radius is either OB or OD. Both of these are radii. So it's going to be easier for us, as you said, you're going to apply the theorem of Pythagoras and work out OB, but OD is going to come into this as well. I see that you've already put a 4 and a 4 on AF and FB, and that's correct. Line from center perpendicular to chord means that the chord is bisected, so that's quite right. AF will be 4 and FB will also be 4, and we're required to state that. So we would have to state there that FB is equal to 4, and our reason is line from center perpendicular to chord. Okay, so the line from the center perpendicular to the chord bisects the chord. That's why FB is equal to 4. Now, you want to go and do the theorem of Pythagoras. So you want to say OF squared plus FB squared equals OB squared, which is quite right. But we can't solve for two unknowns. We can't solve for OB and for X in the same question. So that means that we need an expression for OB in terms of X. Can you see up here, they have told us that AB equals FD equals X. So what that means is that if we take FO and we add OD, we are going to get FD. FO, we know they've told us is X. OD, we don't know how long OD is, but we'll work it out now. And they've told us that FD is equal to 8. So that means that OD is going to be equal to 8 minus X. Now you can use the theorem of Pythagoras. So in other words, what you would do here is you would say that X squared, so FO squared, plus 4 squared, that would be FB squared, equals OB squared. So OB squared is 8 minus X. And then we would have to square that, and then over here, this is where you would write Pythagoras. Now we have to multiply out our brackets, so we end up with X squared plus 16 is equal to 64 minus 16x plus x squared. We're squaring the binomial. Our x squared terms are going to cancel one another out, and that means that we're going to be left with just an x term. So if I bring this minus 16x over to the left-hand side, I'd end up with positive 16x. And if I take this 16 over to the other side, I'm going to end up with 64 minus 16, which is going to leave me with 48. Therefore, I can divide both sides by 16, and I end up with x being equal to 3. I'm not finished yet because the question asked me to determine the length of the radius. Remember, we went up here and we said that OD was equal to 8 minus x. Now that we've calculated x to be 3, we can say 8 minus 3, therefore OD is 5 units. All right, so how would a question like this be marked? Well, there would have to be a mark for the answer and the reason over here. There would also have to be a mark for getting OD in terms of X. There would have to be a mark for the theorem of Pythagoras. There would have to be a mark for working out that X is 3. And there would have to be a mark for getting that it was equal to 5. Anyway, I hope this helped. Good luck.